Some people will tell you you should never lower a motorcycle. And while that might be true because it changes the ergonomics, it changes the geometry and how the bike was designed to be, what happens if you're only 5 feet tall and you're trying to ride on a 600? Lots of research and development goes into how a motorcycle is designed when it comes to aerodynamics, braking, just general dimensions of the bike. It's intentional, it's expensive, it's the way it's supposed to be. But what if you can't ride at all? And lowering it an inch, 2 inches will do that. Can you sacrifice the safety of the engineering? Can you sacrifice a little bit of turn-in and agility on the bike? Probably. Today we're going to install T-Rex lowering links on this GSXR 600 so that the rider can actually ride. So while lowering this bike will change the overall geometry, we want to make sure that we lower it evenly front and rear so that it doesn't squat back on the bike. If it squats back on the back wheel just by lowering that rear linkage, turn really, really badly, kind of like a chopper. So we're going to take fork tubes and pull them up through the triples so that the whole bike drops evenly across the axles. So on paper, it's pretty simple. That triangle right there, we need to replace it with the new linkage. However, Suzuki in their infinite wisdom put the exhaust on the opposite side and put the bolts in from that side so that when we loosen these, I also have to remove the exhaust to get the bolts out. Let's start by removing the exhaust. Ooh, titanium. You'll see the owner did actually damage this bike. She dropped it on the way to my house to bring this to me. Feels so bad for her. This is a brand new bike too. She's only had it for a short period of time and she's been struggling ever since she got it. There's a push pin that goes there and there that you need to remove before you can pull this out. There is a pressure clip there that goes into that rubber bushing. So once you get all of the push pins and bolts out, you still have to stick your fingers in there and kind of pry it out of that rubber bushing, being careful not to break the tabs there and there. So the catalytic converter is attached to the frame here and here. I'm gonna try to remove these two bolts and just drop the bread box down because I really only need like a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch clearance to get that bolt out. That might be enough, sweet. Very important safety note. Before you remove those bolts from the lower linkage, you need to make sure that you can support the tail section of the bike, whether you use a engine hoist, an A-frame ladder with some ratchet straps, squat rack. What I'm gonna do is use a bottle jack between the tire and the tail so that I can keep pressure on it. That way when I remove those bolts, the tail section doesn't drop on me. It's a size 14 on the front and a size 17 on the back too. We don't want to remove those bolts until we get something between the wheel and the fender. Scissor jack works well from a car too if you don't have a bottle jack. There is a wire that runs right here as well. Make sure your jack doesn't touch that wire. We don't want to cause any damage. If you have this on a rear stand and the wheel is off the ground, keep it in gear so it doesn't allow the wheel to spin. We don't want this sliding out. Now we don't necessarily want to put a whole lot of pressure on this. We just want to relieve pressure of the suspension. That should be good. When it's to a point where you can spin the nuts by themselves and you don't need to have a tool to do it, that's a good sign that it's loose enough. From the other side, you can push it through. Be very, very careful. Make sure everything's locked in place. Nothing's going to move around on you. All right, first one's out. Suspension dropped forward. It's nice and loose around now. Should be able to pull the other ones out at the same time. Let's see if that was enough clearance to get this bolt out. It was. Sweet. So this T-Rex set is pretty cool. It has 6 different adjustments. You've got this main back holes here. That is the original position, but then each time you move this into a different hole, it's a 1/2 inch increment. I'll put up on the screen what these different measurements mean, but we're gonna lower this bike 1.5 inches for this rider. I've got all kinds of content on all kinds of motorcycles, street bikes, electric dirt bikes, adventure bikes, everything. If you like 2 wheels, subscribe to the channel. The kit did come with new washers. We wanna use these new washers and they go on the inside. We're gonna put the bolt through the bracket and then put the washers on. I'm gonna do just one at a time. It's easier. When you're pushing the bolt through, make sure you don't push the inner spacer through as well. That's part of the bearing. We don't want that to come out. This is one of those tasks that is a little bit easier with the friend. Having a second set of hands would be nice. I'm gonna put the bottom one through first and then do the top one. I feel like that might be actually easier. Yeah, that's much easier. So our goal is to get that bolt hole. That's a 1.5 inch drop from the original there. This is where it'll be really convenient to have two people because I need to lower the bottle jack slightly, check to see if it'll fit, lower it more, check to see if it'll fit, and eventually get the bolt through. Very, very slowly, we're gonna lower this down. All right, let's try that, see if that works. Be awesome if I got it first try. I doubt it, but you never know. Nope, not quite. Need a little bit more. Almost. About another 1/2 inch is what we're looking for. That should do it. Let's hope. Dang. This is what we didn't want to happen. This is the bushing from inside the bearing. We don't want that to pop out. Oh my goodness, I finally got it. All right, now we can put the washers on this side and slide the other plate on. Hopefully it goes in easily. There we go. Let's throw the nuts back on and tighten them down. Now let's remove the bottle jack entirely, have it sit under its own weight. All right, you can see how it dropped the rear a substantial bit, but there's got a pitch to it where it leans up in the front. So now we need to pull the fork tubes up through the triples so that this balances back down. But we can't forget these bolts. These are the bolts that hold the exhaust to the frame. One on each side, thread them in by hand, and then tighten them down. So I mentioned we need to lower the fork tubes, and what I mean by that, we're gonna take the tube and raise it up through the triple clamp. To do that, we need to loosen the top triple bolt, we need to loosen the clip-on bolt, we also need to loosen those lower bolts down there. We can't go too far with this because if we do, let's see if I can get it on camera, these forks are tapered right here. So if you go too far up, you get to a thinner part of the fork and then you don't have a good grip and then you run the risk of the entire fork assembly dropping forward when you hit a bump. This is much easier to do if you remove the fairings, but I'm gonna try to do it without so. We wanna do one side at a time too, because if we do both sides, then the whole front will drop out, which we could do if we were to use a front stand, a front headstand that is. Now that all of those bolts are loose, what I can do is kind of twist and wiggle the fork tube up. And you'll see it rise up through the triple, hopefully. I'm gonna put a little WD-40 silicone spray on the clamp, loosen it up just a little bit more. We don't want to jam anything in there and pry it open though. All right, now that I've got it loose, what I want to do is measure how far down it is. I want it to be about a 1/2 inch down. I'm at 0.58. I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna tighten this down and then do the other side. When you're putting the bar back on, there is a pin that you need to lock it in. That way it doesn't turn to the wrong angle. So push it in, slide it around, it should just pop into place. And then you can tighten it down. When you're doing the lower bolts, do them evenly, top, bottom, top, bottom. You don't wanna just tighten one all the way down and then go to the other because it'll over torque everything. Something we have to keep in mind is that this kickstand is now gonna be too long. When the bike gets lowered and you put the kickstand down, it's gonna keep the bike too upright. So we are going to install an adjustable kickstand. And I've already taken this and I've lowered it down a bit that I think is gonna be okay, but there's a bolt that runs through it that we can adjust based off of how high the bike actually sits. So we're gonna remove this, install a new one. There is a spring, so obviously there's gonna be some tension on it too. I'm gonna put it on and then install the spring with the spring puller. Huh, pretty snug fit. I'm not quite sure why, but the tolerances on this new adjustable kickstand are so tight that I had to run this without the flat washers on here and even grind down the bushing just a little bit. It's really unfortunate, but there's zero play now. This is nice and tight and fully adjustable. That way, if we do need to adjust the lean a little bit more, we can do that. All right. 2026 GSXR 600 is lowered. We've got the rider on her way here to pick it up. My daughter tested it. She's 5'1" and she was able to flat foot on one side and put her toes down on the other. That should help a lot with stability for the rider of this bike. I appreciate you tuning in and I hope that you stay safe out there. Just remember to get out there and go ride some more.